Hello, this is Doug TenNapel. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. I'm glad you found us. I want to talk today about a topic that's been simmering for a while, and that is MSNBC, that cable news giant, which will never turn a profit as a business. We're going to break down into a few key parts its shrinking audience, its ideological trap, and its structural reliance on a dying fossilized industry. It's a buggy web. So let's dive in. First of all, MSNBC's audience is evaporating, just like water in the air. And it's not hard to see why. Back in the heyday, around the Obama years was probably its peak. It could pull in over 1 million viewers in prime time. And that was considered okay for cable news. Now it's lucky to scrape past about 600,000 people on a good night if they're lucky. Compare that to Fox News, which still averages over 2 million, or even CNN that has around 700,000. That's a little bit more, but still, CNN is hovering around 700,000, but even those are low for back in the day. MSNBC has been bleeding viewers faster than a sinking ship loses water. And it's not just numbers, it's who is watching. So this is the kind of audience that an advertiser wants to reach versus the kind of audience where an advertiser goes, we don't want to show our products to them. The median age of their audience is pushing 68 years old. So 68 years old, even this channel would be in competition with that. There are nights where this channel gets more 68-year-old viewers than MSNBC. So they're not capturing what TV considers as the coveted 25 to 54 age demographic. That's who the advertisers really want. They want 25 to 55-year-olds because that's where the most expendable income is on the products they sell. So instead, they're preaching to a choir that's getting older, smaller, less relevant by the day. There's streaming platforms like YouTube, this channel, or X on Twitter are where the action is, where people under 40 are actually consuming news, not just opinion, but actual news, like facts being presented. And MSNBC's clunky linear TV model, it just can't compete. Those talking Joy Reid and what's her face, Rachel Maddow, are not going to cut it. So second, there's this ideological trap they've locked themselves into. MSNBC has branded itself as the voice of the progressive left, which is dead, unapologetically dead. And we're happy that it's dead. But like Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, Lawrence O'Donnell, things of the past. So they're not just commentators, they're evangelists for a very specific worldview that worked when Trump was in office and outrage was a renewable resource. Remember, they could just keep creating content against Trump, and there was an audience for it. But now Joe Biden was found to be a fraud for the last 4 years. So the Biden fad and the hate Trump fad is over. And that's all the only product they have to roll out. It's hyper-partisan shtick. It feels kind of tired. It's not news anymore. It's a sermon. So even here, we want to look at both sides. I don't want to ever present Democrats as having a true side, but I do want to give you an accurate idea of their opinion and where I believe it comes from. Worst of all, they've alienated almost anyone who isn't already a believer. That is, if you're not bury the needle Democrat Marxist, then you're not going to be interested in that product. So how are they going to get a bigger audience when the bigger audience doesn't even exist? Now, Fox at least nods toward broader content, and not just conservatives. They really do want to push hard. They'll push back into Trump, but just not in a cheap, lying way. MSNBC doesn't even pretend to care about moderates or independents in a country where 38% of people identify as independent. 38%. That's an audience we all want. I want to be able to convince an independent of something. I hope I can continue to make an argument. Even if I call someone a name, I want that name to be an accurate name and not a lie. Like calling Trump a totalitarian. That was a lie of a name. And then if you look at the Gallup polls, MSNBC's numbers are way down. You can't build a profitable business on a shrinking slice of a shrinking pie. So unless MSNBC changes its tactic, and I don't believe they will, it's over for them. Third, let's talk about the structural mess. MSNBC is not a standalone company. It's a cog in the Comcast machine under the NBC Universal umbrella. That sounds like like a safety net, but it's much more like a crush in that Comcast can prop itself up with cash from investors, from stock prices, but it's still cable. And broadband profits, that doesn't mean MSNBC in and of itself is viable, which is why it's been spun off on its own business. Cable TV is dying. That is all of Comcast, the umbrella company for which MSNBC hangs under it, is dying. And cord cutting, that is when you unplug your cable service, which many of us just get our news now from YouTube, the internet, X, no cable involved. The cord cutting is up to 6 million households a year, according to eMarketer. And MSNBC's digital game, it's pathetic. So let's look at what they're doing online. Their website's a ghost town. That is, people don't go to their website. They're much more likely to go to Fox News or YouTube. Their YouTube channel barely cracks 10,000 views on most uploads. So that's where we are in better competition than with MSNBC on many of their episodes. And I'm just one guy. I don't have like a multi-million dollar budget. I'm one guy with a cheap camera, cheap microphone, bad lighting. If this looks like a TV studio, this is like a garage practically. So they're stuck in this 1990s business model. They're refusing to adapt. And that's why, like you guys watching this show, means even though you're older, likely older, you're able to adapt to get your news. So you're not going to be stuck where MSNBC is. You're going to be up and relevant with a new business model. You're part of the new audience. Now, Peacock Network, Comcast streaming play barely mentions MSNBC content. So if you ever get Peacock on, I can play it on my PlayStation, or, you can get it digitally as an app on your phone. They're ashamed of MSNBC content. They don't even play it there, so no one's clicking on it. They will show movies and sports, but everyone knows stay away from their digital product. Truth is, MSNBC is a legacy cost, not a profit center. Comcast might keep it alive as a vanity project, but it will never be profitable. So what's the fix? Here's one. Not without a complete overhaul, they'll never attempt. So they're not going to even try to change their content. So it's not going to get better. That's the true fix. The problem is not the messenger even or the cable companies so much, because Fox has a similar system and people watch it because of the content. So this is what I mean by they're like this cult that's just too entrenched. They're too comfortable just being a giant bloated company. And as traditional TV collapses, MSNBC is going to be a domino that is likely to fall. Here's the bottom line. MSNBC is not a business. It's a relic. It's a thing of days gone by. They have no path for growth. Their profitability is unlikely. It's impossible under their model. They're not adapting. They're not innovating. They're not winning. Where's their Joe Rogan? Where's even their The Five? Thank you for watching. I'm Doug TenNapel, and you're at the Doug TenNapel channel, where we're hopefully here for the future. Thanks to you guys watching. I'm Doug TenNapel, and you're my awesome audience of happy patriots.